Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with Major Vic Deakins and Captain Riley Hale having a sparring match, in which Deakins also teaches Hale how to dodge an opponent's hit. Deakins and Hale are U.S. Air Force pilots stationed in the southwestern United States. Later, Hale gives Deakins the money they bet for, but the Major refuses it, saying Hale has not put in enough effort. Next, the pilots are assigned to a top-secret exercise on a B-3 stealth bomber, a fictional advanced version of the current B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, with two B-83 nuclear bombs on board. Deakins and Hale take off from Whiteman Air Force Base, carrying the two nuclear weapons, for an evening exercise over Utah. Elsewhere, an agent discovers an elderly couple camping in a private area. Because the mission they are preparing for is extremely secret, the agent kills the couple with a handgun. After successfully evading Air Force radar during the exercise, Deakins starts a friendly conversation. He does this to distract and shoot Hale. A fight ensues, that ends with Deakins throwing Hale out of the plane. Deakins then drops the bombs from the plane without detonating them. When the Air Force Base regains radar contact with the plane, he reports that Hale has gone rogue, and withdraws from the mission. He ejects out, letting the plane crash into the side of a mountain above the canyons of Utah. Later, the ranks plus others in the Air Force regroup, and intend to lie publicly that the plane crashed without explanation. At this point, Giles states that this is a mistake, because a group of ruthless reporters will do anything to find out the truth, and proposes to tell the truth, but his superior dismisses his concerns. A search and rescue team is sent to recover the warheads. They do not find the warheads in the wreckage of the plane's cargo hold, and report a broken arrow, meaning the nuclear weapons are missing. The team is ordered to continue the search, expanding the search area until they find the nuclear weapons. Next, we see Hale landing in the desert, completely confused as to why Deakins did what he did. At that moment, a park ranger named Terry discovers him, and threatens him with a gun. Hale pushes her away, and begins to run. They both grab a gun, but Terry catches him off guard and pushes him. However, he manages to get the upper hand and grabs the gun. Nevertheless, he refuses to kill her, gives her the gun, and walks away. But she tells him she has a radio in her car, and they can call for help. Next, the team locates the warheads in a canyon. But suddenly, two members of the search team are killed during the recovery by mercenaries. We learn that Sergeant Kelly is a corrupt member of the team, coordinating this evil mission. Deakins arrives shortly. He is also part of Kelly's mission. He is sure that Hale is dead, but soon a man informs him that Terry has found him. Shortly thereafter, the search team finds the nuclear bombs, but Kelly's men start shooting at them, killing them all. Next, Deakins plans his next move with Pritchett, the financier of the operation. Meanwhile, Hale and Terry make their way to her car. Kelly calls the commander and pretends to be injured, while reporting that the entire search team has been killed. The commander immediately sends reinforcements, and Pritchett begins to worry. But Deakins reassures that they will have time to leave and clean up, before they arrive. At that moment, Terry tries to contact the base through the radio, but to no avail. Hale suddenly grabs her, and they begin to flee. Soon, a military helicopter starts firing toward them, in an attempt to kill them. After they hide, Terry goes to distract the pilot, and Hale shoots straight in the head. After this incident, Pritchett fears that everything will fall apart. However, Deakins again reassures that everything will go according to plan. Giles learns of the incident, and suspects that something is wrong. Hale reveals to Terry that his friend Deakins threw him out of the plane to steal the nuclear weapons. He spots Deakins and the others driving away in two Humvees. As if there were no tomorrow, Hale jumps into the moving cars along with Terry, and manages to get into a Humvee, and they take control of it. He takes a can of gasoline, throws it on Deakins' car, and sets it on fire. Next, they arrive at an abandoned copper mine. In the meantime, Deakins is looking for Hale, because nuclear weapons are in the stolen Humvee. Inside the mine, Hale attempts to disable them using a security feature that would render them inoperable, by intentionally entering an incorrect arming code. Deakins, however, foresaw this scenario, and removed the security code from the bombs. In this way, Hale inadvertently arms the warhead. Unable to disarm, Hale decides to place the unarmed weapon deep inside the abandoned mine, to prevent it from being used elsewhere. Giles returns to the military base and discovers that he was right, Deakins did steal the nuclear weapons. Deakins arrives at the mine, and a shootout ensues. Soon, he finds the unarmed warhead and secures it, leaving Hale and Terry to die in the impending explosion. Subsequently, a shootout ensues between Deakins and Hale, but Terry surprises one of the henchmen from behind. Hale intervenes and kills him. One of Deacon's henchmen then grabs a grenade and starts running toward Hale. However, he is shot, and the grenade falls from his hands. Hale grabs it and throws it away, but the explosion brings down part of the mine, blocking his and Terry's way out. When it is 6 minutes until the explosion, Deakins and the others run away. Before leaving, Deakins throws 2 grenades on the elevator, destroying it. Hale says this was the last exit, but Terry comes up with an idea. With 2 minutes until the explosion, they find a way out through an underground river. In the meantime, a helicopter chases Deakins, as the mercenaries proceed with their mission to blackmail the government, with a threat to detonate the warhead in a civilian area. Pritchett scolds Deakins for allowing the helicopter to chase him, and the latter, fed up with his complaints, kills Pritchett, crushing his throat with a flashlight. Hale and Terry escape from the mine through the underground river, just before the bomb explodes. The bomb's EMP disables and destroys the NEST team sent to retrieve the warheads, when their helicopter crashes and explodes. During this process, they come to the conclusion that they should keep the explosion at the base a secret, and instead claim that there was merely an earthquake. After the explosion, Terry begins to experience terror, but Hale is able to bring her back to composure. A short while later, the two discover that Deakins and the other individuals are making preparations to move the remaining bomb aboard a speedboat. Terry is compelled to take cover on board the vessel, while Deakins maneuvers the warhead as they attempt to hijack the boat. Hale chooses to remain on the shore, while he searches for an alternative solution. In the meantime, the military base has already obtained the threat video that Deakins sent. While this is going on, Terry remains hidden in the bushes, and eventually makes her way into the van that is transporting the warhead. As a result of Deakins' message, the military forces locate Hale and place him under arrest, since they believe that Hale has gone rogue regarding the bomber. However, Hale tells the truth about what happened, and he is successful in changing their minds. After coming to the conclusion that Deakins plans to transport the nuclear bomb on a train, Hale departs in a helicopter to locate the train and track down the other mercenaries. On the boat that he took to flee, Deakins had forgotten to remove the identifying tag from the hospital in Salt Lake City. As a result of the widespread suspicion that Deakins will make an attempt to conceal the bomb in the radiography department of the hospital, task teams have been dispatched to Salt Lake City, in the event Deakins travels there. Hale is under the impression that Deakins is attempting a time-honored sleight of hand, by planting the Salt Lake ID in order to divert the investigation in the wrong direction. Since Salt Lake City is in charge, Hale recommends looking into Denver's location to the east. Meanwhile, Terry does not surrender and continues to cling to the train transporting the warhead. After Deakins has ignited the device, he informs the other individuals that they will pause the timer once they have received money. When Terry discovers the scientist who is detonating the bomb, she launches an assault on the man. However, he is able to successfully fend it off. She picks up an axe after the man has fallen to the ground, and throws it directly in his face, causing him to die. Next, she approaches the warhead, but not long after that, Deakins appears with a weapon in his hand. He forces Terry to detonate the bomb when he gives her the code, while he holds a gun to her head. Despite this, she eventually presses the cancel button, and Deakins makes the decision to eject her off the train. Suddenly, after they open the door, Hale's hunch turns out to be right, and the chase finds Deakins' train heading east. Hale jumps on top of the train, and unseats Terry. Soon, a henchman yells at Hale to drop his weapon. Hale pretends to obey, and ducks down to grab Terry's gun and kill the henchman. A firefight follows, the helicopter Hale was on with Colonel Wilkins is destroyed, and Wilkins and most of Deakins' mercenaries are killed. The action continues on the train, with Hale fighting henchmen hand to hand. Hale is about to fall off the train, but he manages to hang on. After that, he hides with Terry. With his own helicopter sabotaged and his plan falling apart, Deakins decides to detonate the nuke early. Meanwhile, Hale tells Terry to save herself, while he goes to stop Deakins. In the process, Deakins' henchman panics and yells at him to deactivate the bomb. Suddenly, Hale appears and pushes the henchman off the train. Left in two, Deakins wants to make a bet, and tells him that if he beats him at hand-to-hand combat, he will also deactivate the bomb. Deakins starts beating Hale violently, while the latter tries to give his best. Terry decides to return to help Hale. Hale uses his greater speed to match Deakins' strength, eventually winning the rematch from the night before. He jumps off the train at the last second with the weapon's remote control and disarms it. As he does so, the detached cars slam into the front half of the stopped train. The impact of the collision drives the disarmed warhead into Deakins' chest, and the entire train derails, exploding in a fireball that incinerates Deakins. Hale survives and finds in the debris a $20 bill fluttering on a twig, the same $20 bill Deakins had won for him earlier in their boxing training, and the nuclear warhead, Damaged but intact, he finds and embraces Terry in the wreckage, and the two formally introduce each other for the first time. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.